This video is a demonstration of a software CWKeyer roundup. We have 5 different programs that individually can send with paddles via the serial port or other means. Right now we're using a serial port splitter so that we can have them all running at the same time. So CWtype, softCW, Morse Keyer, Dahdidah, and ehoCW are all using individually one of these virtual serial ports, because I only have one serial port to work with, but the serial port splitter works very well. So this is what they sound like when they're all going at the same time. And here is CWtype. One is allowed to use the paddle, and we're using virtual COM port 13. And you can also bring up another instance of CWtype, but you won't be able to use the paddle again. So you can set one speed for the paddles and one speed if you wanted to just type. And you don't have to bounce back to this one with your cursor in order to activate it. But I'll come back to this in just a second. So let's take one of these at a time. We'll start with ehoCW. Right now I'm using JackRouter connection bay. So let's start with ehoCW at the top here. So I'll disconnect these wires. And then we'll go over each one. And I'll silence the CW types, and we'll look at those later. Okay, so ehoCW should be the only one playing now. And on here you have options of speed for the paddles and volume. I'm using an iambic paddle, and it allows you to go left and right handles for whatever side you want the dit or dot on. I'm using iambic B, and we've set this frequency here. You just slide this up or down. You can change it. The rise time is also nice. ehoCW has a very nice raised cosine, so you can go very harsh. You can go really soft. We'll keep it around 5 here. And let's take a look at the settings inside. Another nice thing before we go there is this keyboard. You have both keyboard and paddles with ehoCW so that you can type. And you notice a little bit of a space between the words, but you can knock that down with this slider here when you're operating the NAT mode. Just slide it all the way to this. Now let's try that again. And that smoothed that out pretty well. So you have paddles or the keyboard. And in the settings here, go to Tools, Options. It has a lot of options for sound cards. So you have MME drivers, Windows Direct Sound, ASIO drivers. With CWKeyer, software CWKeyers, it's always best to use an ASIO driver if you have one, and a real ASIO sound card. Right now I'm using my Behringer USB. I have that available. But for this one, we're just using the ASIO sound card that comes with VoiceMeeter. And this will be in the show notes, and there's some other videos about this. But VoiceMeeter has its own ASIO driver, and that's what I'm using for JackRouter, so that I can punch anything in here that has an ASIO card available that you can select. And you select JackRouter, and then you can send that over to the input. And then that comes right into this channel here, and you can hear it on this right here. You can adjust the volumes. You can even equalize it. So this is very handy. I'm also sending out on a secondary channel to this virtual audio cable so that this video can receive the audio too. I'm speaking to you with this microphone, this USB microphone, on this channel. So all that audio is coming over to the second output in addition to the first. The first so I can hear it, but second so that you can hear it, or if you're going to stream this out, you can use it for that too. Okay, back to the parameters. If I was going to use the Behringer, then you could also bring up the ASIO control panel. But you also have WAS API, you have kernel drivers, the WDM kernel streaming drivers. So there's a lot of options. I'm using virtual COM port 5 right here. And I have this enabled, so you click apply, close, and you may probably have to reboot it and try it again. So that's ehoCW. Very nice having the keyboard and the iambic keyer. You can also use a straight key. And this also has the ability, there's 4 pins that you can use. The other 2 pins are active as well on here, so if you had a straight key or a bug, you could hook it up to that, the ring or one of the other pins. So let's go over to Dahdidah now. Let me get that one set up. Dahdidah has been around for quite a while. We'll turn this up a little. Turn it down. Change the pitch. Speed. And you can see the other 2 pins are the DCD and the ring indicator. So you can attach that to the ground of the serial port adapter, and you can also use these if you wanted to attach something else. This could be used as a straight key. Bug iambic. This is a pretty nice program. The selections on it here are similar. A lot of options. I have a lot of sound cards, so depending on how many you have, I'm using the ASIO and the JackRouter so I can spend all these. Pitch, the weight. So this has a very nice keyer. They did a nice job with this one. And this has been around for years. Okay, so let's go over to Morse Keyer now. Okay, so let's find that one. And here we have it. Now one unique thing about Morse Keyer is it also has raised cosines and ASIO drivers. And a lot of options here. The ASIO always works best, even if you have to use ASIO for all. Sometimes that works better in your own. If you don't have any ASIO sound cards, you can use this and your regular sound card. And that usually works pretty good. So we have volume adjustments. I'm using the serial 13 right here for this, but it also has a mouse, so you can use the left and right buttons of your mouse. So I have a wireless mouse, and that's what you were just hearing, so I can use the serial, straight key mode. So this is a pretty nice program too. It's the size is nice. Adjust the tone. Rise. Here's the rise time. Take it down a little bit. Take it up a little bit. So it can get pretty soft. So you can dial that in however you like. Okay, so let's go to the last one here on the left side and take a look at softCW. Now softCW is a straight key only. And it will work right out of the box with the space bar, and then it has a file that you need to adjust. Here's a space bar now. That was my paddle. It has raised cosines, and you adjust the configuration with this ini file. First, look up, you run it once and look up, figure out which device is your ASIO card, because you're going to need that. So for the JackRouter I chose number 2. Then ASIO device number 2. Attenuation, I start at 15. You can go up from there. Be careful, don't set that too high until you take a check, or if you're using headphones it might be too loud. And the frequency, I have it at 700. The rise time, this is 5 milliseconds, as he has the numerical values here for the fall and rise. And I'm using virtual COM port 9. I'm using pin DSR. Again, you can use any of the 3 other ones too, the ring indicator, the DCD, or the CTS. And it has a debounce circuit in it, and I have mine set to 10. I think it comes default around 20. So you can trim that up or down however your system behaves. That seems to work okay for mine. One unique thing about this softCW is that you can externally key it with another key if you wanted to. All you have to do is ground one of the pins through an opto-isolator. So you could take the output jack from your keyer, send it to the opto-isolator. When the opto-isolator goes to ground from any one of those 4 pins on the other side to the serial port ground, or the DTR, it might be the DTR pin that you ground it to, that will activate this, and it does a pretty good job. But for a straight key and a very nice little small GUI, it's a pretty nice little keyer. Alright, so now let's go over to disconnect this softCW, and we'll activate CWtype. And I'm using that virtual COM port again, 13. So the other one must have been 11. I don't have my glasses on, so. And I have the keyboard here, so you can go back and forth with those. What's nice is you don't have to bounce out of this screen to get this one to work. And if you save, don't save the one with this, with the COM port active. Save it like this one without it, and then you can bring it up a bunch of times and you won't get a conflict error saying that this COM port's already in use. The speed of the keyers, let's do a little test here and see how consistent they are. We'll go up to 40. Here's what CWtype sounds like. Now CWtype's just using the normal sound card, which is the virtual sound card that comes with the VoiceMeeter. So it's coming in the same channel. So this has both Windows virtual sound card, virtual audio cable, and it has that ASIO sound card coming in the same input here. The ASIO is always a little more accurate, but this may be good enough here for uses if you really like CWtype. Alright, now let's compare that. Let's go high speed with ehoCW. So we'll silence these and see how it does. And that's a true test to see if, as far as rhythm goes, how consistent it sounds so that it doesn't skip a beat or get interrupted or have a bunch of gaps in it. Alright, so let's turn this up. That's pretty good. Alright, let's try the same thing with Dahdidah. That's pretty good. So using an ASIO driver, all these are doing a pretty good job. Now we'll try it again with Morse Keyer. And let's get that up a little bit in speed. This one goes up pretty high. not bad. So all in all, those are all doing a pretty good job, and it was a lot of fun to find all these and mess around with them a little bit. And it's also very useful at times to be able to split the serial port so you can run comparisons like that without having to detach and reattach and reassign. So hope this was helpful, and thanks for watching.